Hello everyone, it's Philip here again from AntiBSGroup. Topic for this video will be about how an incident will be about police overstepping their bounds generally. Mainly what caused me to want to do this video was from an article, from a letter to the editor in the local paper where I am. I don't live in the city anymore, so our local paper is not a well-known one. It's the Alliston Herald. So, the article is titled "Run In With Cops Takes the Merry Out of Christmas." This happened over the Christmas holidays, Christmas break. So, there's actually an article behind it from somebody we all know and love, Jim Wilson, in this area. I'll read you a couple points from this article, actually, that really caught the family. This family they did her family this Saturday. They came back to Alliston early, so they put up a tree. My pregnant wife was back since it wasn't prudent for me to drive, too much food and wine. So, common sense prevails right there. But they're happy with that. Note the Bolton wife noticed someone driving really close behind us. This went on for a while until my wife slowed down and forced the other driver to pass us. The driver passed us and was tailgating the vehicle in front of us. As luck happened, just ahead of Palgrave, which is a small community not too far from here, not that far from Bolton. There's going to be a story coming up. I'll do it on April. What happened almost 16 years ago. That really affects me. I still think about this person each day. But this is going to be the opposite of what this one is. That police abusing. This one, the police did an amazing job. In this other case, we'll talk about in April. Mary, this is where when Mary was in Christmas, this disappeared. Sorry. I left our vehicle and walked towards the other car with one hand in the air, gesturing and saying out loud. I had a question for the driver. This is when the officer decided that I was a threat. The large, 6'3" or more officer shoved two of his fingers deep in my chest, pushing me back, saying I was still saying out loud that I had a question for the driver. I also expressed that I didn't appreciate being shoved around. I said that I would only talk now to the female officer, thinking there might be less testosterone there. Well, after she told me to shut the fuck up, I realized that I was wrong about the testosterone. By this time, a third officer approached, and like the gang mentality, they shoved and pushed me to the side of the road. Now, at my vehicle, my door's open. The female officer told me to get in your fucking car or we will arrest you and you can spend Christmas in jail. This all while my pregnant wife and two young sons were listening. I am a little confused now since I have been a vocal supporter of the Open P for many years. I've relied on the police to help me when I caught a young man stealing on television. I've relied on the police to help find someone when he was involved in a hit and run. I would stand by the officers and their duties when they are ready to lynch them for one reason or another. These officers swarmed on me like a bunch of hooligans. They refused to let me talk. Their intent was to bring me back in the car. When I asked questions, I was verbally abused. When I asked their names and badge numbers, I was told that I would not get them, which they are by law required to give you if you ask for it. I know I've had to do this on many occasions myself with Toronto Police Service officers, just to cover my ass, pretty much. They kind of said, they looked at me and said, they understood, they knew exactly what I was doing, so it was a good thing. We were on the same page there, so that was a good thing. But continue on with this, then I'll get to what I think the situation is. I was just trying to. They politely gave my wife back the documents and wished her the best, since she would be needing it. I was just trying to convey the message that someone was driving dangerously on slick roads and or may be intoxicated. My reward was being threatened, bullied, and shoved. Although they refused to identify themselves, I now know who they are. A benefit of filing a complaint, which I did as soon as I got home. These officers do not have the right to swarm and threaten with violence and yet anyone who seeks their support and help. My boys did have a good Christmas, as did we, but it will be a while before I look at some officers' respect and trust again. This is from Larry Cardinal, from analysis of a local resident for me. What can I say about this? That was actually absolutely disgusting behavior on the officers' parts. Their names haven't been mentioned, so we can't really see much happen there. I'm sorry for the video quality, guys. Sun's coming right from behind the camera, so I'm trying to block it. You can see some of it on my head, but we'll have to make do with what we have right now. The blinds are closed, still lots coming through. Other issues that can be there. What I see is, like I was saying, I had to ask the officer's badge number. That's from police services. And I should make a note of this. These aren't Nagasaka detachment officers. These are another detachment altogether, so they're not here in this detachment. I'll just say that outright. So that's not an issue with our officers in town here. There's some of them pretty decent officers. I know a few of them. A couple of them are friends of mine. I knew them for years now. So yeah. Overall, this is basically, this type of incident basically harkens to what happened last summer, in the summer at the G8 G20 summits in Toronto. I'm not going to talk much about that. It's not the topic of the video. This actually partially is the topic and used as evidence of normal. I have the utmost faith in most officers. I've seen officers do things that been around or they've done things, saved somebody's life, or did whatever for the job done, take down a very bad person, subject, who did something very bad, or was armed and dangerous. Like I was saying earlier about the video coming in April, they do good things. They go track down killers, all this. Like, I know we had that Air Force colonel last year, last February-ish, that was arrested for the rape and murders of those women. So I mean, they do good. The OPP does great work. So does Toronto Police Services. And so does the RCMP. I'm not saying sometimes heat of the moment they do stuff. Okay, they do things. They're trying to do their job, and us civilians, I mean, I'm not saying I'm after this. I'm not. I just want to get the facts out. That's all I try to do. But the so-called activists at the G20 summit in Toronto last June, July, they weren't asked. They didn't listen to the officers, and the officers try to keep everything organized and civil. Yet there are these protests over the G8, G20. Well, you know what, people? If you want to protest, do it peacefully. If they ask you to leave somewhere, leave. Okay? I mean, a lot of times it's not the officers bring this crap on themselves. Bring this crap on. It's the actual people involved. Okay? They're not saying they're innocent, totally innocent of what they did. They did some pretty not awful things, but they were under siege. That's where some of these officers probably felt like, oh shit. Okay, like some of these arrests were pretty rough. I mean, sometimes I've personally seen arrests going to work when I was in Toronto at the Yorkdale subway station, going towards where I was meeting with my friend who go to work, driving to work together. And the undercover officers were going pretty hardcore on this one guy who was resisting arrest. I mean, You say, okay, if an officer comes up, you stop, you just say, okay, okay, okay. And put your hands up, boom. That would have negated 90% of what happened in the G20 summits, in my opinion. I'm not saying the arrests were right, warranted. They probably weren't. Majority of them weren't. But if the police felt they don't know who's causing trouble, so they're probably thinking, well, better safe than sorry. Let's arrest a whole lot of them. Okay, was it right? No. Justified? No. Was arresting some of these people like this Mr. Nobody that's been on the news recently. Did he have it coming to him? I don't know. I don't know the whole story. Full story. So I can't really comment on that, but what they did to him, okay, no, it's not acceptable. Hiding your badge and your name tags and your badge numbers, is that acceptable? No, it's not. They're actually, like I said, they're required by law to give, when asked, to give that information. I know most officers have business cards with their information, and if they're, so I mean, it's kind of honest officers. They're there, the bad apples. Like, we don't really know that case I mentioned from Paul Graves at the ride stop. We don't know if the officers were having a really tough night. I'm not sure. I remember it was cold. I don't know what temperature was there outside at the time. So it was actually, it was pretty warm. So I mean, I was warm here. I just wear my sweater going to and from my sister's. So yeah, it wasn't that bad. So I mean, they're complaining they're at the cold, wet weather. Who knows? That's making them a little bit miserable. Okay, that does make an excuse to take it out on somebody who's trying to ask you a question, or whatever guy or the car asks a question. You ask them, okay, please sir, please, what do you want? Or please get back to your car. We'll talk to you when we get to you. Like, be respectful. Like, that's all people ask for in officers. So that's one of the reasons why I support the OPP for the most part. I support the RCMP. Said some of the bonehead decisions they made last little bit, but that's another video altogether. But yeah, other than that, everything, those things we have to do. They have officers. Law enforcement is a very tough job. Okay, they deal with life and death every day. So I mean, I say give them a benefit of the doubt. There's bad officers. Case in point, somebody I know went to the casino in Aurelia, or Georgia Dance Casino, slots machines and all that, up in Barrie, October, November of last year. They lost their wallet with quite a bit of money in there. I'm not sure the exact amount, but the person called their security. The person who took it ended up being an OPP officer in the area. So when the OPP went there, picked it up, he's being investigated. They brought the officer personally, the head of that, wherever the detachment was, I'm not too sure, hand-delivered the money to the person at night. As part of it, did that, and he apologized for the officer. He apologized for the OPP to the person. So I mean, yeah, don't discredit officers just because the police and they don't deserve respect. Give them the respect they deserve. If they treat you like shit, treat them with respect still. They'll just make look like the bitter fool. Okay, that's part of life, Mr. T, sorry. But yeah, watching a little bit towards the 18 lately, so but yeah, if you treat them with respect, they'll look like fools, and they lose right there. They lose. If you make them look like a fool, they'll lose. You'll win. So it's how you play it. Use this, and you're all set. So thank you for watching this video on officers overstepping their bounds, and hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.